Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another SLG Meetup. Today we're going to have a very interesting guest. He's a very successful real estate broker, and his name is Ryan John Fisher. He is with over almost $200 million worth of real estate sold internationally, one of the icons when it comes to adaptability, as he has been doing real estate in many different destinations, from Australia all the way to Dubai, and now working on some new projects. So very interesting career, and definitely lots of insights on how to convert yourself into the next level. So not only that, he's also European football intermediary and has lots of great insights to share with us today. What's happening, Ryan?
How are you, mate? It's good to finally do this. Is the signal
Wait,
okay?
what's happening? You're not in the bike?
No. I've had enough of the bike today, mate.
So for those that don't understand the inside joke, Ryan has been working on doing this challenge when it comes to putting all the money that you can collect every day into the Ronald McDonald charities, correct?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about that first, because I find that very fascinating, and especially the whole journey.
Yeah, well, I'm basically stuck in a mandatory quarantine at the moment for 14 days as I've come back into Australia from Dubai. So basically, I'm confined to a hotel room. You cannot leave. You cannot open a window. The room, quite intense. So I wanted to obviously have a bit of a purpose each day and try and do something productive with my time. So as you can see here, I have an exercise bike. And basically, I ride 25 kilometers a day and try and raise as much money as I can for the Ronald McDonald House charities. So it's given me a bit of a purpose in this situation.
That's phenomenal. But I thought, like, okay, maybe that's going to help Ryan not get crazy. But you're doing that at 2:30 a.m.
Well, my body clock's a little bit whack at the moment. So, yeah, when I'm doing a bit of training.
What time is it over there right now? 8 o'clock?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. So already you did the 25 kilometers, work on your business,
Yeah.
and now you're ready for this. Well, thank you for joining us. And I was making a quick intro about yourself. You're definitely a rock star when it comes to real estate. You've sold almost $200 million worth of real estate internationally. You were recently in Dubai working on some of the most incredible homes. And now you're back in Australia working towards your next step in your career. So
Yes.
Tell us, what is that, and enlighten us.
Yeah, well, Dubai was an interesting one. For the last sort of 2 years, I've been working as a European football intermediary across the European market of football, which was always a dream of mine. My initial career was the residential space in Melbourne, where I had some success. And at about 25, 26 years of age, I decided, you know what, football's a massive passion. I've got a business skill set that I believe is transferable. I'm going to take that step. And for 2.5 years, I was traveling Europe, networking, accumulating contacts, learning the business as best I could. And then ultimately, I went on to transfer some players, which for me was a massive dream come true. And then I sort of came full circle a little bit and decided that whilst football is a big passion, so is property, so is real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided that I want to get back into that heavily. So I wasn't 100% certain I wanted to return to Australia at that point. And I looked across the sort of international marketplace and thought, okay, where can I go and position myself that may be a little bit different? And I was looking at London, I was looking at LA, and then ultimately it was sort of pushed upon me because we went into a massive lockdown again because of COVID.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
I decided to go to Dubai and just have a week or two in the sun. That's all it was going to be. It was just going to be a holiday. And a good friend of mine works in the market there, and she said to me over dinner, listen, you should have a look at it. It's interesting. It's very different, but there's opportunity here. So I thought, do you know what? What have I got to lose? And if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it properly. So I completely set up there and basically hit the market incredibly hard for 8 weeks. You're right. Listed some really spectacular property, learned the market really, really quickly, and then decided that I think if I'm going to invest my energy and time and skill set into that industry, I want to build something. And I felt as though Dubai was only ever going to become a short-term thing. So I decided to make the decision at that point to transfer back into the Australian market, which I'm now in the transition of doing.
Phenomenal. Biggest lesson from being in Dubai doing real estate?
Um, that every market is so different. I think when I was in Melbourne, when I was working in real estate, I just thought that what I'd learnt is real estate. So now that I've done that, I know real estate. I know how to work out a market. I know basically how real estate works. When you go to London, it's so different. When you go to Dubai, it's so different. I'd imagine when you get to America, it's so different. Biggest thing I learned about Dubai is where it's situated geographically makes it a really international marketplace.
Tell me a little bit more about what's Ryan gonna be doing in the next stage.
For me at the moment, I'm sort of sitting down and really putting a strategy together on how I want to position myself in the market when I get back. I've got a big picture. I've definitely got a long-term strategy now of what I want to achieve over the next sort of 10 to 15 years. Obviously, things will change and variables will come up, as I've learned over the last 10 years of my life. But I do feel as though real estate and property now for me is going to be something that's very long-term.
In this journey, you've obviously, I remember having a conversation with you about social media, right? Because social media right now has become a great tool to develop personal branding and also to add value to your own product. So right now we've seen such big transition, especially through COVID, that everything has become digital to a certain extent. Yeah. And you were telling me a really fascinating story on how you got away from social media, came back to it, and now you're using it to leverage your business in a very unique way. So how is that? Why did you get off social media and then came back?
To be honest with you, my career back in Melbourne happened very fast. I went from sort of working in a retail shop to speaking on stage in front of thousands of people in the space of 2.5 years. So it was a very quick transition. And throughout my real estate career in the Melbourne market, I was very heavily using social media. I was really getting caught up in the whole personal brand, how important it is, which it is. I get it. It 100% is. But I feel like I went too far one way with it. And I got myself to a situation with social media where I was just like, do you know what? I need a break. I need to cut the cord and I need to actually go away and internalize a lot of what I'm doing and internalize a lot of what I'm feeling. So I decided to delete all my social media platforms. And I was actually off social media for around 1.5 to 2 years. Now, it was 100% the best thing that I've ever done for me personally. I started making a lot of traction in football. And I felt as though the business needed some sort of a presence. And like I said before, if you're going to do something, do it properly. So I thought, okay, if I'm going to get back into social media, I need to go back into it properly. But I think I went back into it this time with an understanding of what it's about.
What would be a takeaway for those that are trying to build their career, whether it's in real estate or anything related to that space when it comes to social media?
Listen, when it comes to social media, I've still got a lot to learn. I think for me, in the transition that I'll make with the business that I'm going to go into, that side of it is going to be heavily outsourced, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I think for me, what I'm going to try and use my social media for, from a personal perspective, is to be really authentic, try and make it valuable to anyone that's looking at it, whether it be a young business person, a young businesswoman, a young real estate agent, a young football agent. Anything that I can sort of put out there into the universe that I feel I've got something to add in terms of value is probably how I'm going to intend on using my social business side. I think that's something that I'm going to sit down with a team of people and have a strategy put forward, because it's not something I'm really strong in. It's something I'm learning about. But I think on the other side, off social media, I think anyone going into any market, whether it be real estate, football, a new real estate market, a new industry, you've got to go in with a mindset of not necessarily just looking at what people are doing. You need to look at what people are not doing and then try and add value.
So another thing, because obviously there is a lot of routines that you have in place to make sure that consistency plays in your careers. What have been some of your patterns to get to that level?
I'm a massive advocate for being on a phone. I'm not the sort of person who takes a client out for dinner, finds out the name of their cat and then, trying to infiltrate a relationship that way and, build rapport and then ultimately get into the property. And that's not really my style. For me, I like to be, like I said, a practitioner. The routines that I try and make sure that I've got in place from a work perspective are being on a phone, communicating with the market, being incredibly diligent with my follow-up, understanding the market to a level that not a lot of other agents do, and I do believe not a lot of agents do. And then ultimately off the pitch, off the market, I guess, outside of work, you're eating properly, you're training properly, you're getting a good night's sleep. You've got a real good balance in the way you're operating as a person.
I love it. Nice energy and nice giveaways. That's great. I actually believe in that 100%. So I'm sure that a lot of people that are listening finding that inspiration, that fire, because everybody has something within. They just need to get it out and do it consistently. So that's great. Now, Ryan, the question that I do all the time, what is really luxury to you?
Luxury to me is executed to an incredibly high standard, because the perception of luxury is that not everybody can afford it. Yeah. And it's sort of one of those things that it's almost aspirational. It's like a luxury car. It's like a luxury holiday. It's like a luxury house. Not everybody, myself included, can go out and drop 10, 50, $20 million on a luxury home. Whereas a lot of us can go out and get the lending capacity or the capabilities of buying a $500 to $2 million home within our lifetime. The luxury side of things is, for me, a different echelon. And I feel as though it's a term that's thrown around a lot, and sometimes not necessarily when it should be. I think luxury is something that is really, from a property perspective, executed to an incredibly high standard. The architect, the best in class, the developer or the builder is best in class. The orientation, the floor plan, the materials that have been used, absolutely everything is top notch. And that then gives it the right to be classified as a property that sits within the luxury atmosphere.
I love that. And obviously somebody like Ryan representing the home, that's what gives the execution. The striker. No, by the way, you know what I'm going to do after this, right? I'm not going to go start drinking. I'm going to show a house, and then I'm going to run a half marathon, because you inspire me. You inspire me, and you inspire many others. So before we wrap this up, why don't you tell us a little bit about this charity, how people can help, and anything about it?
Yeah, well, like I said, the Ronald McDonald House Charity is a massive cause. It's for children who are very vulnerable at a time in their life where they're going through a lot, whether it be with an illness, a disease, sometimes an incurable situation. And the Ronald McDonald House Charities put them into a position where that transition within their life is a lot more comfortable, a lot more fulfilling, and it increases the likelihood of them having a better outcome. So it's a great cause. They're confined to their hospital bed, their hospital room for lengths of time. And I just feel as though any money towards that situation is obviously a bonus and a positive. So again, I've got my bike. I'm doing a half marathon. Donations would be appreciated.
Man, you're a machine. You're definitely making the best out of any situation, which is why I believe that being able to adapt yourself to any circumstance is what makes you a superstar. So congratulations on your career. I look forward to see what Ryan is going to be doing in the next chapter, and definitely whether we see each other here in the States or in Australia or maybe back in Dubai, I'm sure it's going to be a very good one. So any last words or takeaways you would like to share?
Yeah, I'd just say to anyone out there, whatever your dream is, whatever your ambition is, I think if COVID has taught all of us one thing, is that you can live a very safe and routine life and still have no guarantee, because something can come along and just completely shake the whole world up. So life's a risk anyway. You might as well be taking a risk on your own terms. That's what I believe. Chase your dreams, have a strong moral compass, really have a conversation with yourself about what you want to achieve in life. Nothing is impossible. Believe in yourself. And for any young businesswoman, businessman, anyone out there, I would fully encourage you to travel. I've learned so much about myself, about business, about other people, about life. And I do believe that nothing's impossible. And with the right mindset, the right approach, the right moral compass, and the right belief in yourself, you can do anything. And I'd encourage everyone to take that risk.
You're a champion, man. Thank you so much, Ryan. Really appreciate all the words. Definitely looking forward to see each other soon. Thank you again for your time. Keep killing it on the bike. And we'll talk soon, my friend.
Congratulations on everything you're doing. It's a fantastic platform that you're building. It's great.
Thank you. Likewise. Have a good weekend, and we'll talk soon. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Follow Ryan, please. He's the man. Bye.